Hi everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you. Today we see Sacred Heart going to face Utah Valley in UVU/DK/ whichever you want to call it, DK Jungle. I am Andrew, and I will be your commentator for this evening. We have Luigi up to bat first. Wiggler tosses a pitch. That will be down in center field for a single. Let's talk about Sacred Heart's Luigi for a quick second. That, I believe, is Luigi's 6th hit out of 29 at-bats, as that is sent by Rick out to the outfield, where will be Buddy out for the first out of the inning. Sacred Heart is a very interesting team for those that have been following the league, but for those that have not, we'll give a quick recap of their schedule. Sacred Heart is currently 4-3. Within the standings, they actually have a 0 run differential. I believe that within the entire league, they are the only team for which this applies. Hammerbro watches strike one. Looking at Hammerbro, Hammerbro is clearly this team's best player, as that hit should mark the 20th hit out of 27 at-bats. And that will also be Hammerbro's 11th home run of the season, and that will make it a 2-0 game. That will bring up Celtics Shack. Celtics Shack watches strike one. And that is past Yellow Magicupa for a single into right center. The earthquake will not affect play too significantly. Here is Red Paratroopa. That will be caught and converted for the double play. That will be 2 runs in the top of the first for Sacred Heart, as we go to meet another new UVU lineup. UVU, for those not in the loop, has been a team that is quite notorious for being very aggressive and brazen with their moves. This is a team that, in very rapid succession, acquired PD Piranha, acquired King K. Rool, and then proceeded to sell both players in different transactions. This is a very interesting and dynamic team, as Yellow Toad will advance to first on a very erratic fielding play, as I will bring up Red Pianta. We'll watch strike one. I believe that is Misenku that is supposed to be on the mound, as Red Pianta will launch that into center left. Yes, so for those unaware, Red Pianta in Yellow Toad, Firebro, and Yellow Magicupa were the players involved in a blockbuster between UVU and ASU. ASU received Dark Bones, Red Koopa, Birdo, King Boo, and Petey, and UVU received the players that I listed, in addition to Goomba and 170 bits, as that will be a single into center left by Red Toad, and that will score the run. Sacred Heart's outfield is very interesting. I don't believe that in any other league that I've been in that I've seen a Paragoomba and double Paratroopa outfield. Wiggler will watch strike one. There's still no outs on the inning. Wiggler will launch that ball into the outfield. Will the outfielders get there in time? They will. The runners will not advance, and that will be the first out of the inning. That will bring up Starred Firebro, their newest shortstop in lieu of PD Piranha. So here's a very interesting fact for those that are fans of trivia. Of the first 5 players of UVU's current lineup, only one of them has been with the team since the draft. That player is Wiggler, as we see a green Firebro watching strike one down the middle. He will swing and miss for strike 2. Firebro will launch that ball. That will be caught by Paragoomba. Some erratic base running by Toad there, but that'll be the second out of the inning. Runners on first and second for Waluigi. This is one of the players, I believe, one of 3 players that have been with UVU since their draft way back when. As people outside where I am are singing karaoke, I hope that does not detract from the experience. Waluigi will have a star swing. And Firebro will miss the catch. That will load the bases for Wario. Here is Wario, who notably refused to change his hat for UVU. Sources are out as to why. This is Wario's star hit. If it is in play, 2 runs should score. It will drop fair. That will score a run, 1 run, and that will score 2. While Luigi is trying to advance, will Paragumba's run nail him? No, they'll be in a rundown instead. Walu is safe. We have runners at the corners for Yellow Magic Koopa. So, in an interview that I had with the GM of UVU, Natalie, earlier, something that was noted was that one of UVU's main goals was to create a lineup that does not have knees. And as we can see, this is the case as Yellow Magic Koopa will line out to end the inning. However, UVU makes up their deficit and then some, as they currently have a 1-run lead heading into the second. I want to briefly talk to you guys about Sacred Heart for a bit. So for those that are not in the know, Sacred Heart is located in Connecticut. It is a Catholic university, and it was founded in 1963. As Paragumba will watch 2 strikes there. As Paragumba launches right to Firebro, who will actually hop to make that catch. That'll be the first out of the inning. Here is another Paratroopa, who will watch strike 1. A commentator has noted that Sacred Heart also used to be a commuter school. Very cool. As that will be a single. All right, Green Shy Guy will launch the ball into center field. The Earthquake will knock down Red Pianta. That should convert the hit into a double. Will the Koopa Paratroopa try to advance? They will, as that will be a double for Red Shy Guy to tie the game. To those requesting information on Illinois' current offers, those will not be surveyed until the game is concluded. Yes, that is a triple. I kind of want to rule it as an Earthquake-induced triple, just because it was a double and then EQ, but it is what it is, as that will be a hit right to Firebro, who will convert the double play. That will end the inning. However, Sacred Heart will tie it up. Here is Tiny Kong. Tiny Kong will launch to Green Shy Guy, who will throw for out number 1. For those of you that aren't in the know, UVU is, I believe, the largest university by enrollment in Utah. It's not necessarily one that you would expect when the moniker pops up, given the likes of BYU and University of Utah in the state, but that is actually true. So if you're in the Utah area, stay on the lookout for the Wolverines, as I believe, my screen is lagging, should be out. Here is Red Pianta. Red Pianta watches strike 1. You know, I've always been a bit dubious about Lakitu. I've always found, maybe it's just me, as that will end the inning as a flat to right field, is that Lakitu's strike zone is very skewed. And I feel like maybe for me personally, it is skewed to the right side. Maybe this is just an observation and maybe I am biased, but I would like an investigation into Lakitu's activities and into any potential deals he may have with bookkeepers, as that will be a single that turns into a double for Sacred Heart Luigi. That is his second hit of the game. Here is Rick. Rick will launch the ball. That will be over Yellow Magic Koopa. Luigi is trying to advance to home. Will he get there safely? No, he will not. A very costly base running error, as that will leave a chem runner on first for Sacred Heart's Hammer. Sacred Heart Hammer will launch. The Toad barely gets there, but it will not matter. That is, I believe, Sacred Hammer's second 2-run home run of the game, as that will once again extend Sacred Heart's lead to 2 runs. Yes, as someone in chat noted, Sacred Heart Hammer Bro now has the same amount of home runs as Disciples of Jesus, as that will be a lineout by Celtics Jack. All right, as that will be a lineout for out number 3. Wiggler is in shambles as we go to the bottom of the third. They are singing Frozen outside of my door. For the first time in forever, I wish they wouldn't. As here is Red Toad. Launches a ball into center field. That will be a single. The barrel will not interfere. Here is Wiggler. Watch a strike one. Wiggler will launch the ball. That will get down for a hit. That will advance the runners to first and second for UVU's own starred bro, in this case, Fire Bro. For those that were not previously aware, you can always distinguish Fire Bro from the other bros because he is the only one that has a bat. As he will line a ball into the outfield, that will get to the warning track. That will score Red Toad. Will Wiggler advance? He will try. Let's see if the throw gets him. Oh, it does! What a costly base running mistake. Nonetheless, that narrows the gap to 1. Yes, Hammer Bro does, in fact, have a hammer. Thank you, Fungi. And Boomerang Bro will have, of course, a boomerang. Here is Waluigi, as we see that the pitcher Senku is tired. Waluigi lines a single into left field. That will bring up runners on first and second. And potential, as we all know from physics, sometimes translates to kinetic energy, but most of the time just kind of stays latent anyways. Here's Wario. That will go on as a single, as Luigi is now the new pitcher. So that will be a 7-out performance by the green Senku. Let's see if the earned runs will be greater than 4. As Yellow Magic Koopa launches a star hit into center field, that will score Fire Bro. Will Waluigi successfully advance? Yes. UVU will retake the lead. Here is Tiny Kong with runners on first and second, 1 out. Watches ball 1. See, I think Lakitu's officiating is very erratic. I would have called that a strike. As Fire Bro proves that the call was fraudulent by converting a double play. Luigi in some distress, but however, UV has retaken the lead. Sorry, not Fire Bro, Hammer Bro. My mistake. Here's Paragoomba, in what some audience members are calling the Para Trio, or the Death Lineup. Launches a ball. That will go down as a single. Paragoom Bomb Yo. Well, this isn't Funky Kong. As we see the red Paratroopa, who should not be confused with the green Paratroopa, who was also red, is what will become a double play. Because as we all know, if your uniform confuses players, that is not a good thing. Yellow Magic Koopa is quite happy. Here we have Green Shy Guy. Green Shy Guy will watch strike 1. What was that shell? For those... We are now at the official halfway point of the game. The game is still UVU leading by 1. Back to the top of their lineup with Toad, Pianta, Toad. Alright, that'll be Yellow Toad, down for a hit. Let's see. Here is Red Pianta. We'll charge and watch a strike 1. So, both Yellow Toad and Red Pianta before this game were actually hitting at around 500, as Red Pianta will hit a single. Yellow Toad was 9 for 18, and Red Pianta was 10 for 19. Red Toad, on the other hand, mainly played many games for Hawaii, where he was 9 for 17, and has recently been added to Utah Valley. But he will make a triple play, a very unfortunate outcome if you wanted more from the TBT lineup. But you know what TBT could also stand for? It's triple play time. Alright, here we have Senku, Luigi, and Rick. Watches, strike 1. One must wonder, after giving up 5 runs, if Wiggler is starting to get tired. As that ball is launched into the outfield, will the outfielders jump that in time? They will. That is out number 1. Someone has correctly pointed out that Wiggler has 82 stamina. That is a lot, obviously. But even then, one wonders if Wiggler's suboptimal stuff is worth the trade-off, as that is caught by Firebro for out number 2. If Rick can get on base, this will bring up Sacred Whammer for another chance at another 2-run home run. Oh, very interesting. That will be a single by Rick to bring up Sacred Whammer. Strike 1. Can someone in the chat remind me that will not be a home run and that will be an out to end the inning? Sacred Heart's opportunity unfortunately gone to waste as we see Wiggler, Firebro, and Waluigi. I would appreciate it if the chat would be able to help crowdsource the base source games for Wiggler and Firebro. I've always been kind of interested to see exactly in which games they debuted in, as Wiggler will hit a single. Here's Firebro. Firebro launches a ball deep to center field. The outfielder's not getting there in time. It's gone. That will make UVU's leads to 3. Right when the GM of UVU expressed rip this one Firebro, this Firebro rips this one to deep center field. Thank you, Stuck. It seems that Wiggler debuted in Mario World and Firebro debuted in Mario 3. Here's Waluigi. Still no outs on the inning. Waluigi hits a ball. The shell will matter as that advances Walu to first base to bring up Wario. Wario hits a ball that is down in center right field for a single. Runners on first and seconds to bring up Yellow Magic Koopa. As that will be a fielder's choice to first. Someone in chat mentioned that Wario's uber consistent, but this is a lie, as 50% of ubers are never on time, as Luigi throws a tornado pitch to Tiny Kong. That will be basically an infield fly. As that will bring up Yellow Toad. Luigi throws. Yellow Toad will star hit into the outfield. That will go to the warning track. Both Walu and Wario will score, and Yellow Toad advances to second on a double, and that will make it a 10-5 game. Correct me if I am wrong, but I believe that 10 runs is the most that UVU has scored. It is tied with their second game against Kansas State, as that will mark Luigi's end of pitching. That will bring in the me that says pig, but is not. There is an imposter, as Red Pianta steps to the plate. Red Pianta launches one to the warning track that is not caught. That will advance the runner. They'll make it an 11-5 game. To those in the chat, I'd like to know your thoughts. Do you believe that a Toad or a Pianta is a generally more valuable player? As that will go very far foul to the right. Red Toad launches a ball into center left field. That will bring up runners on first and second for Wiggler. So I believe we have circled around the line. Here's Wiggler. Wiggler down the center field, base hit. Red Pianta tried to advance, but I believe Yellow Pianta is the speed Pianta, so not quite sure what happened there. Here's Firebro. Strike 1. Rip a Grand Slam Firebro. If someone in chat could correctly list the Grand Slam tennis tournaments, I may give them a cookie, as Firebro will launch a single to make it a 12-5 game. Here's Waluigi. He will launch the ball to center field. I am not sure if the boo mattered there, but that will make it a 13-5 game. The frozen karaoke grows bigger in the background. Thank you, Coastal. You may get a cookie. And here's Wario's star hit, as we all know, very, very powerful star hit. That should advance at least 2 runners, and the barrel will further complicate things on a terrible chem bobble. That will clear the bases as Wario charges to third. He will not go ahead further. Love is an open door, they are singing outside, but I don't think that if you are Sacred Heart, you are loving this outcome, as Hammer Bro, Sacred Hammer's offensive threat, steps to the mound. He will close the inning, but the damage has been done. The margin went from manageable to very much not so, as UVU currently leads by 11 with 2 innings to play. Okay, they're singing The Sandwich as part of Love's an Open Door, and because we love the audience, I'd like to ask you a question. In regular baseball, you have the 7th inning stretch at the end of the 7th inning, as that will be an out. If you were to replicate the 7th inning stretch in Super Sluggers, would you put it at like the end of the 5th inning, in between the 5th inning? I'm wondering your thoughts, because that is a lineout for the second out of the inning. Here is Paragoomba. GameCube has correctly pointed out that this UVU just scored their most runs in a game in a single inning. That is correct. As Paragoomba will launch a single. Interesting, we got a wide variety of responses regarding the 7th inning stretch. All right, that is launched to the outfield. Toad will not catch that. Some in the business may refer to that as CTE, but I'm afraid Cam Scatatoad is not on this UVU team. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, and that will bring up Green Shy Guy. Green Shy Guy. Green Shy Guy. What do we say about Green Shy Guy? Green Shy Guy got out, but I was going to bring up that when Green Shy Guy was playing on UVA, he was 2 for 13. And let me try to... But that is a Mountain West specific thing. Maybe the curse of Green Shy Guy is just endemic to the Mountain West, as Tiny Kong will line out to shortstop for out number 1. For the 7th inning stretch of the 7th inning, well, you know, we can all stretch once the game is ending, and we can go home. As here is Yellow Toad. Yellow Toad will launch a ball into the outfield. This outfield's chem is still preserved, but Paragoomba's very slow as Yellow Toad charges to third. Okay, can we successfully get a rendition of Take Me Out to the Ball Game in the chat? As Red Pianta just needs literally any contact to the outfield to get in some runs. That should do it. Yellow Toad is running. Will he get there? He will. That'll make it a 17-5 game. 2 prime numbers. Red Toad, down for a single. That will bring up Wiggler. That will be watched for strike 1. As Wiggler will ground out for the end of the inning. As the margin is now 12 runs. Can someone confirm if this is a scoregami? As here is Senku, who was the starting pitcher of this game. As that will be out 1. 2 more outs to make up this very monumental deficit. Let's put it this way. Here's Luigi, who will launch the ball into a magic catch for out number 2. If you're Utah Valley, considering the status of your previous wins, I think you need to be satisfied by your team finally living up to the potential that was reported, as that ball will be launched into the outfield. That will bring up another chance for a Whammer Bro 2-run home run. Sacred Hammer watches strike 1. For those of you that are familiar with Norse mythology, I'm sure you are aware that Thor is the god that is most famous for wielding a hammer. And Wiggler is very long, like the Midgard serpent. But unfortunately, just like in mythology, the serpent will win, as Whammer Bro will line out to second base, and that will end the game with a 17-5 UVU victory. UVU is now 4-3. Sacred Heart is now at 500. The run differential is no longer at 0. Let's go to the box scores, please. Wario will gain MVP, a very interesting choice given UVU's extremely balanced attack. Let's go to the box score. Let's see. I am very surprised. Despite Hammer Bros' great offensive performance, he was only given an 80. But the other results could have been better. As for UVU, a very balanced attack besides Tiny Kong. Tiny Kong probably should hit the weight room, or, you know, whatever they say. As Wario will be your MVP for this game. Who will these teams face next? UVU is set to face... Did the UMass game happen yet? Okay. UVU will face UMass at their home stadium, whereas Sacred Heart will go and face Harvard. Harvard is not in Boston. Harvard's in Cambridge. Anyways, that is your final Andrew Trivia Fact of the day. This has been Andrew Solocom of the UVU Sacred Heart game, and I wish all of you, wherever you may be, a fantastic beginning and middle, whatever it is, to your day.